Hi, good day everyone. My name is Muhammad Haziq bin Abdul Hadi and my ID number is 000908130295001. I am student of Bachelor of Medical Health and Science, and today I will be presenting the findings of my clinical practicum at Klinik Kesihatan Petang, focusing on a mission critical subject, optimizing ergonomics strategies for a healthier and more productive workplace. Why is this investigation necessary? Because statistics show that work-related musculoskeletal disorders, or WMSDs, are not just common, but are among the leading cause of chronic pain, disability, and subsequent absenteeism among healthcare professionals globally. We dedicate our professional lives to caring for patients, and we must acknowledge the critical ARCH principle. We cannot sustain quality care if we constantly compromising our own physical well-being. My objective today is clear: to move beyond simply accepting pain as part of the job and to explore proven design by managerial principles, the science of ergonomics to safeguard staff health, stabilize our workforce, and boost our clinic's efficiency. Before we jump into solutions, let's quickly define what we mean by modern ergonomics. It is the scientific discipline concerned with the understanding of interactions among humans and other elements of a system, and the profession that applies theory to design. In short, it is about fitting the job to the person, not the person to the job. It is fundamental component of effective occupational safety and health management. It involves three key interconnected domains. Physical ergonomics address postures, forces, and material handling. Cognitive ergonomics addresses mental workload, decision fatigue, and human error. And organizational ergonomics addresses policies, scheduling, and communication structure. To truly optimize our workplace, we must integrate and addresses all three domains, ensuring a holistic safety climate. During my practicum, I observed that safety compliance is fundamentally undermined by three pervasive physical risk factors that drive WMSDs. We have awkward postures, which means working outside the body's neutral zone, such as extreme reaching or spinal flexion. We have high repetition, performing the same movement many times per hour per shift. We have forces, which is either static muscle loading or the dynamic effort required to lift or stabilize a patient. This diagram illustrates the mechanism of static loading perfectly. When we sustain an awkward posture, like bending over a patient, or for a prolonged period, our muscles contract continuously to hold that position. This continuous low-level contraction leads to localized ischemic, which is reduced blood flow, preventing the removal of metabolic waste and products. This is why you feel characteristic burning or aching sensation. It is the direct precursor to chronic tissue fatigue and ultimately WMSDs, like tendinitis or chronic lower back pain. To make this concept tangible and relevant to our daily work, let's look at a routine. high-frequency task at Klinik Kesihatan Petang, the patient dressing procedure. Our clinic uses fixed height treatment couches. This lack of adjustability forces the assistant medical officer into prolonged spinal flexion, which is forward bending coupled with torsional twisting to stabilize the patient and access the lowest supply trolley. This combination of forces, as evidenced in academic literature, significantly increases the shear forces of the lumbar disc according to NIOSH 2007. The cost of inaction here is staggering. It is not just the personal pain we endure, but the measurable economic impact. High rates of WMSDs lead directly to increased absenteeism, higher turnover rates as staff leave the profession, and need for costly replacement staff training. This economic burden significantly compromises our clinic's operational stability. Therefore, addressing this single fixed height couch is not a luxury. It is a vital, evidence-based strategy workforce sustainability. Our transition to solutions must be guided by the OSH foundational framework, the hierarchy of controls. We always strive for the solutions at the top, elimination and substitution. When those are not feasible, we move to engineering controls, which is designing the hazard out of the work environment. Why is this hierarchy critical? Because the closer we get to the bottom, relying on administrative controls like training or PPE, less reliable and less sustainable the solution becomes. This framework ensures our solutions are permanent and robust. Our primary and most effective solution must be an engineering control, investing in adjustable height treatment couches. This intervention is powerful because it makes the safest movement the easiest and most natural one, requiring a minimal sustained behavioral effort from the AMO. It directly reduces spinal disc pressure and static muscle loading, fulfilling the core tenet of ergonomics, which is fitting the job to the worker. Engineering controls are vital, must be reinforced by administrative and organizational controls. Administratively, we need to implement mandatory SOPs for equipment usage and ensure task rotation to reduce cumulative repetition strain. This addresses the human and biological factors in task arrangement. Organizationally and psychosocially, we must tackle the cognitive demands. We need a formal fatigue management policy with mandatory micro breaks during extended procedures and establish a debriefing protocol to manage the high emotional labor and cognitive stress inherent in patient care. This holistic approach ensures safety is embedded in our policies, not just our equipment. Now, we address the most critical point for management, the business case. We justify these costs using the concept of return on investment or ROI. We must effectively argue that the initial capital expenditure on adjustable couches is rapidly recovered by avoiding the much higher indirect costs of chronic staff injury. The formula is simple, which is ROI equals to cost of injury avoided divided by cost of intervention. We must highlight the cost of managing just one chronic WMSD case, including treatment, replacement staff, and reduced morale, will often exceed the purchase price of the necessary ergonomic equipment. Our proposal is fundamentally a vital long-term strategic investment in workforce stability. Implementation requires the AMO to step into management and leadership role. We must become the agents of change. This means conducting an ergonomic audit to gather objective data, submitting data-driven proposals using our ROI argument, and crucially leading peer education sessions to ensure compliance and buy-in. I have personally engaged in this process during my practicum, demonstrating that translating OSH theory into actionable substitutional policy is a core competency of the assistant medical officer profession. In conclusion, the optimization of ergonomics is not a luxury. It is fundamental to holistic healthcare management. My comprehensive analysis shows that systematic issues demand systematic solutions. Specifically, through high-level engineering controls, this process has reinforced that the AMO professional responsibility extends beyond clinical treatment. We must be the safety advocates and change agents who proactively integrate OSH standards into every SOP and every procurement decision. Our health is our greatest asset, and optimizing ergonomics is how we protect it, ensuring a stable, productive, and ethical serving for our community. Thank you very much for your time and have a very good day.